My name is Schneider. I work at ESI Design, and I'm a senior designer and AV technologist. I think at a high level, all of those installations that we did, the main goal is to increase value. But from a design perspective, we do that in a lot of different ways. And I think figuring out how each of these spaces can become a more dynamic part of the environment that they're in, a place that when you walk through the front door, you feel like you're entering something that's exciting, that's changing, and that really has a level of relevance with you and with what's going on in the environment. Terrell Place and 515 North State, I think, are unique in that it's Class A commercial real estate. These are buildings that need to have excitement and are also spaces where the same people are going to be coming in day after day. And so in those cases, you really have an opportunity to create an installation that people get to know, that has a lot of detail, almost like a work of art in the space, so that they can create a level of ownership with it. And so we did that by really thinking about the overall interior space and integrating digital technology into the architecture that can be responsive, that can change and create a more exciting and dynamic space. 900 North Shops is a high-end mall in Chicago, and so it has a very different challenge in that it's a vertical mall. It's a space that has a lot of stores that are no longer feeling as relevant to the crowd that they're trying to attract. And so in that space, it's again to make it dynamic, but it's also to be a real invitation to come not only off the street, but then to move up through the 6 floors of the mall. And so there we've installed 10 big 20-foot by 20-foot LED screens into the ceiling that change and that are really this beautiful art installation that kind of blows the roof off of the space. So I think each of these spaces have a slightly different challenge, but overall it's just how do you make it feel a dynamic part of your life. I think for myself and at ESI Design, I think one of the exciting things is just the continual growth of the LED market and the fact that LEDs are getting to a level of video bandwidth that allows them, they can't quite reach HDR standards, but they can get a much deeper dynamic range and color range that allows us to create visuals and content that can feel almost more like the architectural materials themselves, so that you can get really, really dark darks and really bright whites and everything in between. And you can also remove any sort of kind of pixelation or artifacting because it has that video bandwidth. So I think that's a key driver in our industry. The other thing that's really come out is the laser-based projectors, because that's all of a sudden projector technology is something that you can put into a permanent installation, where up until now there was a lot of challenges with maintenance that the laser-based projector technology really overcomes. When you're thinking about digital signage and putting technology into a physical space, I think you really have to think about the story first. What is the story you're telling, and what content exists in order to help you tell that story? If you start with the story, then whatever you do has a clear identity and people know how to connect with it. If it's just a series of advertisements or informational segments, people are just going to ignore it. It will be another screen on the wall. I think interesting in New York City, where we're based, they put in all of these new digital kiosks around the streets. And for the first probably year, they really ran advertising, and they just were kind of an irritant. In the last, I'd say, 2 months, they've started running these kind of They're almost like city promotional pieces that are little fun facts about the city, and they're all done in a consistent style. And now all of a sudden, these kiosks have a relevance to just walking down the street. And it's incredible how much that shifts their identity from just more noise to something that's interesting. I think that the key to capturing a potential viewer's attention is really about pacing, to understand the rhythm of the space that it's in, and then to either very consciously work with that rhythm or consciously go against that rhythm in order to make it stand out. And so be aware of the pace, not just when you install it, but throughout the day, and the pace changes. So in a lot of our large installations, our more traditional digital signage is always surrounded by a much more ambient digital installation that really sets the overall pace of the environment. And then you can focus the viewer's attention on these very discrete moments of information that live inside of a larger rhythmic environment. You know, one of the biggest challenges right now is that the LED world is still a bit of the Wild West, and so everybody wants one, but there isn't. It's not clear to the end client what the difference is between all of the different LED out there, and there really is some big differences, and you see it both in longevity, but also in the quality of the content that you can display on that screen. So I think, the market out there is slowly converging, and I think there will be some kind of clear specifications and ways that you can judge LED technology. I think DSE is a great opportunity for us to come out here and meet both potential vendors and partners, but also there's really quite a lot of end clients that are out on the floor here, and it's great to kind of hear their challenges, what they're interested in exploring, what's worked for them, what hasn't. And then this year, I was honored to be invited to do a keynote, so it was a great opportunity to kind of share our experiences with doing digital signage in the built environment, and hopefully support the growth of this industry.